What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. Excited to get some more content here for you here in the house. Got a video here for you. I'm just doing videos everywhere. In the backyard, in the house. I'm actually set up here in the bedroom, in the back corner of the bedroom here for you guys. Constantly, guys, delivering on a high level here for you, keeping that content rolling. Today, I got 3 sleepers for you, late round steals. Got some interesting facts here for you as well in regards to the craziness I talked about in my last video about these wide receivers that are coming off in the early round. So I want to, talk a little bit statistics here on some of these wide receivers coming off early, like the Nico Collins, the Keenan Allens of the world. Some interesting statistics here that are going to make you want to say, why would I draft those guys when I can get one of the sleepers here in this video? So 3 sleepers here in this video that I absolutely love as late round sleepers. Okay, 3 gems that I'm drafting in all my leagues. I'm going to dive into this. If you are new to the channel, guys, make sure you guys tap it, slap it, hit the thumbs up. Really helps the channel out. Hit that thumbs up, guys, and drop a comment below. Let me know of a late round steal that you guys are drafting, a late round sleeper that's really on your radar that you're absolutely loving, okay? Excited to dive in this. Also, grab the 16-round draft solution. It'll literally put you light years ahead of the Sheeps, a.k.a. the consensus, a.k.a. the damn herd. Okay, guys? So grab 16 rounds. I've linked it below. Use code SMASH to save. It'll put you light years ahead of everybody else. All right? So let's talk about these sleepers here. I'm excited to dive in. Now, this is, by the way, I'm not sitting in the washroom here, honestly, guys. I'm sitting in my bedroom. I'm in the corner. And it may look like I'm on a toilet, but literally, look, check, I'm not on a toilet. There's my kids' stuff. They put their stuff in here. Guys, literally, no. Actually, my kids, they do some coloring here on this table as well. So this is not the toilet, if you guys are wondering. And if it was the bathroom I was sitting in, for all you people wondering, it would probably have a different type of sound. It might have more of an echo. So if you guys are all wondering, I'm just sitting on a low, kids chair because my kids do their coloring here in our bedroom once in a while. So that's where, if you guys are wondering where I'm, situated right now. Not in the backyard. There's some major thunderstorms here in the Northeast, so I stayed out of the backyard today, all right? So let's dive into these 3 sleepers here. Again, hit the thumbs up, grab 16 rounds, guys, to put your light years ahead of the sheep. First sleeper I absolutely love. I'm just stashing him on my leagues, okay? He is just a stash. I don't know if anything's going to come out of it, but I need to make you aware of how good he was in college. The guy is Kamani Vidal, okay? He's on the Chargers. He was a 6th-round pick by the Chargers. So, again, not very high draft capital, but I tend not to get scared of running backs with very low draft capital because we saw what happened with Kyron Williams. We see these guys break out from time to time that haven't been drafted with high draft capital, but they're in a good situation. I think Kamani Vidal is in a great situation. They've got no running back there. I don't believe in J.K. Dobbins. I don't believe in Gus Bus. Gus can't catch the ball in the backfield. And Vidal did 18 receptions last year. Now, this guy was a beast in college, 5.6 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns on the ground, 1,600 yards on the ground, guys, last year. 5.6 yards per carry, really attractive. Only ran a 4.46, not really a concern. 5'8", 215. So he's very strong, very compact, seems to have good vision. I watched some of his runs. But either way, listen, this guy's ADP is like 200 something. Like, he's ridiculous. He's literally going undrafted. All I'm saying, he's a late round sleeper. Stash him because the situation's good. Could nothing happen with Kamani Vidal? Sure. But in best ball leagues with, last couple picks with some of these other big money leagues, if you're like, last pick, or if you want to stash some running backs later, dude, Kamani Vidal, great situations. J.K. Dobbins can't finish the season to save his life, and Gus Bus is not a true RB1. Guys, the situation is great, and he was a workhorse in college. In a great situation. Maybe the Chargers are looking for the next guy. They didn't draft another running back, with early draft capital. They didn't bring anyone else in that's going to be a true RB1. You never know. So Kamani Vidal is on my radars and as a late round sleeper, okay? Second guy here, you definitely want to stick around for the third guy. I got some definite big insight on this one, on the third guy here. Very interesting. But the second guy I love here out of Oregon is Troy Franklin. I talked to him about a bunch of other videos. 4th round pick by the Denver Broncos, 6'2", a little bit undersized at 170. Wide receiver 79, guys. This is amazing value. This guy is primed to have himself a good season. The Broncos don't have another wide receiver. The only wide receiver they have isn't a true wide receiver one in Sutton. I'm not really sold on him being good at all. They got Greg Dulcich. They got Mims there who didn't do anything last year. Sutton is pretty much holding out. So, guys, I look at a guy like Troy Franklin, relatively high draft capital in the 4th round. And then you've got Bo Nix guys throwing the ball. Who else they got there? Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson. Bo Nix is going to be the starter. And these guys have a rapport in college, guys. So this could be an amazing connection, and you're literally getting Troy Franklin for an absolute steal. I got him, I think, in the 12th or 13th round. Made sure he was on my roster, sitting at wide receiver 79, and can and should be the wide receiver 1 on his team. Now, if you think of the situation, if I went to college with a guy and I threw him 14 touchdowns last season, which is what he got, 1,300 yards, 81 receptions, and 14 touchdowns, and that's my receiver. I threw him 14 touchdowns in college. There's a high probability I'm going to be looking for him on the field and not so much for Courtland Sutton. I'm going to be looking for my guy. Again, I could be wrong here, but at the end of the day, you're getting Troy Franklin for literally free. Guys, amazing value. Bo Nix, Troy Franklin could be a thing this year on an offense that needs a spark. So, honestly, just draft Troy Franklin, stash him. Big time late steal that you want to draft. Okay, I talked about it in other videos, and I explained it in the 60 rounds where to get him and other sleepers to get. Next guy is very interesting. Did a lot of diving on this one. Is Romeo Doubs. Let me explain. You want to hear me out on this. Romeo Doubs sitting at wide receiver 55. Now, here's the deal. This year, we see a lot of craziness in the early rounds, and I totally debunked this, and I explained how to get around it in the 16-round draft solution. If you haven't gotten 16 rounds, grab it below. The reason I keep plugging it is because literally it is the solution. The reason I call it 16-round draft solution because it will help you win your leagues, and you can avoid all the BS. Last year, told you to avoid Eckler round 2, Eckler second overall, Pollard first round. I keep going over this. Mike Williams round 5, J.K. Dobbins round 4. All these guys I told you to avoid. And I told you to draft Sam Laporta and spot the gems like Tank Dell. I'm telling you again, this year, there's a huge mistake going on in rounds 2 to 5. Huge mistakes, right? Let me give you guys some context here. This is what I want to talk about here. The reason I'm talking about Romeo Doubs as a late round steal is because he can potentially be the wide receiver 1. Let me explain. They played 2 games in the playoffs last year. He had 12 targets, 10 receptions, 234 yards, and a touchdown. Reed only had 7 targets in those 2 games. He was the guy. And everyone's talking about Wicks, Dotavian Wicks. The guy was drafted in the 5th round last year and is a wide receiver 4 on his team, literally. They've got Watson there. They've got Reed. They've got Dobbs. But Dobbs in the playoffs, where it mattered the most, seemed to be the wide receiver 1. And he's the best value out of the 3 wide receivers. Another point I want to make, whether you're going Reed, Watson, or Dobbs, you're basically playing wide receiver roulette. The nice thing about it is that you're playing wide receiver roulette later in the draft. That's the beauty of it. And the problem that I want to talk about that's going on right now is that literally you've got DJ Moore, wide receiver 18. You got Keenan Allen, wide receiver 31. And then you've got the Texans receivers, Nico, wide receiver 17, Dell, wide receiver 29, and Diggs, 24. So people are playing wide receiver roulette with wide receivers that are, coming off very early, which is crazy. You don't know who the wide receiver 1 is. Here's another interesting fact I want to dive in here with you guys, okay? Another bonus sleeper is Jordan Love. Jordan Love actually beat C.J. Stroud in attempts last year. He was 5th in attempts with 579, guys. C.J. Stroud was 14th in attempts with 499. This is very, very important, okay? Love threw more touchdowns, more attempts with 579, and more touchdowns, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions compared to C.J. Stroud's 23-5. Also threw for more yards, did Love more than C.J. Stroud, 41.59 compared to 41.08. Now, mind you, this year, obviously, C.J. Stroud gets a boost. His receivers on paper look better, obviously a little more explosive, more of an explosive offense on paper. But don't sleep on the Packers. They brought in Josh Jacobs. They've got a decent receiving core here. I think Romeo Doubs could be the one. All I'm saying, guys, is that Romeo Doubs is a mid to late round steal, and you're potentially getting a wide receiver 1, and you're not drafting his high draft capital, where other people are literally wasting picks between round 2 to 5. Don't be one of those people, okay, guys? So Romeo Doubs, grab him, great value. And again, if you look at Jordan Love, he's throwing more. He's getting more touchdowns, more yards, more passing attempts, and you're getting these guys for a value, these wide receivers, instead of spending a 2nd-round pick on Nico Collins, which is absolutely ludicrous. Now, mind you, Nico could finish as a top 5, top 10 receiver, but you're paying a high draft capital, and there's uncertainty because you don't know who the true one is, okay? As I'm wearing a Texans hat here, too. Love Stroud. I think the ceiling's high, but in regards to his receivers, way too expensive for me. Get the value in Dobbs, okay? Kamani Vidal, Troy Franklin, Romeo Doubs, 3 mid to late round steals you'll absolutely love. Make sure they're on your rosters this year for great value and upside, all right? Subscribe, thumbs up, and grab 16 rounds. Don't walk, run. Grab 16 rounds right now. Link to below. Use code SMASH to save. I'll see you in the next video. Video coming out every morning, 7 a.m., Monday through Friday. All right, guys, smash it, tap it, slap it. Drop a comment below. Give me your late round steal. Have a great Sunday.